Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we're going to talk about how I learned to stop worrying and love hypersonic missiles and also robot dogs. We're going to do this because I've had a lot of people send in messages, not a lot, five or six, that have sent in messages saying, hey, why haven't you talked about this? Shouldn't you be raising the alarm? That's the general tone of them. No, I don't believe I should. Generally speaking, I don't like making military propaganda. Now, the reason this is in the news is because the Chinese just conducted a test, and it was pretty successful. The reporting, of course, said that the U.S. military was stunned. The U.S. intelligence was stunned. They just couldn't believe it. Okay. Remember when we were talking about the U.S. foreign policy shift to near peers? Near peers being Russia and China. I said it was going to look a whole lot like the Cold War. Welcome to the arms race portion of the show. We cannot allow there to be a mine shaft gap. All right, so here is, for those that don't know, this is what a hypersonic missile is. Basically, it's a missile that goes, I want to say it's above Mach 5, is the general loose definition. Most have a little bob and weave in them, so it makes it easier for them to get through missile defense systems. The real concern is that it is capable of carrying a nuclear payload. Okay. I'm not really that concerned about this because for this to matter, for this to be a legitimate issue and something that is going to impact my life, nuclear missiles have to be being exchanged between major powers. If that happens, we're kind of doomed anyway. To me, worrying about the hypersonic missile technology is a little bit like worrying about whether or not the rifle that shot you in the head had good optics. It really doesn't matter at that point. Once they start flying, it's over. The other thing that's kind of missing from the reporting is, or in some cases it is very misleading, is the idea that the U.S. doesn't already have some of this technology, that there isn't already some parity, that we're somehow far behind. Can't allow there to be a mine shaft gap, right? Go ahead and Google U.S. Army Dark Eagle. It's not new technology. It's been around a long time in the sense of people trying to achieve it. Over the last few years, the technological hurdles, they've gotten over them. So it's being fielded. I would suggest that beyond what you're going to find in public reporting, the U.S. has other technology already fielded. I can't prove that. I don't have any evidence to back that up other than this is how it historically works. But even if they don't, even if the U.S. does not have that capability, it will soon. Parity will be achieved, and it is what it is. This is not something that I think we should be drawing a whole bunch of attention to, except in ways that suggest, hey, maybe we should disarm when it comes to nuclear weapons. Once they go up, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're delivered via ICBM, launched from a sub, hypersonic missile technology. It does not matter. If they go up, it's over, right? The idea of a limited nuclear exchange is, I don't believe it. I don't believe that it is something that is super likely anymore. If any of the world powers get into a position where they're going to launch, they're going to launch. That's where we're at now. So I'm also not concerned about it, not just from this standpoint of there being parity, and if it goes up, we're not really going to know about it anyway, but also from the standpoint of they're going to be very unlikely to use this technology, at least with nukes. Major powers understand that there's no winning that. No matter what, it's all bad. The idea of newer technology generally is to mitigate risk to your own and inflict more on the opposition. This this guarantees a massive response. It runs counter to everybody's doctrine. So they're unlikely to use it. I am far more concerned about those little robot dogs. If you don't know, the U.S. military has outfitted the little robot dogs like you saw in Black Mirror. They've outfitted some of them with rifles. To me, that is a much larger concern because they are far more likely to use it. And that will change the face of warfare, and not in a good way. And then on top of them creating this incredibly lethal technology in the form of this dog that I'm simultaneously in awe of and constantly trying to figure out how to destroy, they also chose to chamber the rifle in 6.5 millimeter Creedmoor, which means on top of it being incredibly scary, it's also going to be insufferable. Gun joke, sorry. How do you know somebody's rifle's chambered in 6.5? Don't worry, they will tell you. At the end of this is a good example of two things. One, more confirmation. Prepare for Cold War style coverage and that atmosphere, because that's what's coming down the road. Two, these stories, they broke around the same time. The one that's getting the most attention is the most dramatic, the hypersonic missiles. But that's not really the one you need to worry about the most. That's not the one that's most likely to impact your life. There's a missed priority when it comes to coverage. They're focusing on the extreme. And the hypersonic missile technology is extreme, so extreme, in fact, that if it ever does get used when it comes to nukes, the coverage isn't going to matter because nobody's going to be around to read it. Those dogs, you could see them in action very quickly, and then you could see them in your local law enforcement. Far more of a concern. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.